Okay, so we're on page 4 of the week 4 reading. We're going to be reading section 4, Why is Biodiversity Important? Now, as we read, you're going to be looking for details to add to these two vocab terms, biodiversity, interdependent, and I'm not sure if you put already, but yeah, sorry, and interdependent. And then after that, you're going to use what you learned to answer CFU or check for understanding number 5. What are 2 reasons why biodiversity is important? Okay, section 4. Paragraph 1. Each species' position is unique in terms of the way that it interacts with abiotic factors in its environment, as well as the biotic factors like predators and other organisms and species living in their ecosystem. All of these species, with all of their specific niches, contribute to biodiversity. This system of interconnecting roles creates food webs, creates rules for organisms, and is necessary for our understanding of life on this planet. Because each species depends on the other species, it can be said that they are interdependent, meaning they rely on each other. When one species is lost, all of the other species are put in a more dangerous position. There's a wide diversity of interacting species in most ecosystems. Most interactions occur as organisms obtain their food. Every population is linked, either directly or indirectly, with all of the other populations in the ecosystem. If you guys remember back to week 1 and week 2, we saw this a lot with the food web. Right? Once one organism is eliminated, this affects the balance and the amount of other organisms lower or higher above in the food chain or food web, right? So we're going to go to the sentence. Each population has one or more specific roles in the ecosystem. As a result, maintaining the ecosystem's biodiversity is essential or necessary for its stability. The word biodiversity refers to all the variety of life that can be found on Earth: plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms, as well as the communities that they form and the habitats in which they live. The loss of biodiversity in an ecosystem affects its stability. So removing species from an environment often causes instability due to a loss of organisms that were fulfilling critical ecological niches. There's a strong connection between biodiversity and an ecosystem's stability. A natural forest, for example, contains many different species of trees. If a disease or insects attack one specific population of tree species, nearby trees of different species are still likely to survive. The mix of species in the ecosystem also makes it difficult for the disease organisms to move quickly throughout the environment. Here, biodiversity helps the ecosystem survive and attack and recover. In contrast, a tree farm where all of the trees are planted and are all of the same species, the entire population would be seriously damaged by one single disease or insect attack. So now take the time to add to your vocab, add details for biodiversity and interdependent, and then explain for your answer and check for understanding number 5. What are 2 reasons why biodiversity is important?